Hey guys, this is Star. She's an ex-CarbonNation member. But guys, you know when you come onto my channel, you hit the like button right away. Let's get that out of the way right away so we can get into the video. She is telling her story about what she went through when she was there. Now she has 7 children that she left with her sister to join CarbonNation because Agilio told her the children could not come. He even told her to put them in foster care, but she refused to do that. She placed them with her sister. And she said she's still on her journey. So as far as I know, the kids are still not back with her. She has left CarbonNation, however. But we were in 2023, so I would think the kids are with her now. On a previous video, she said by the age of 29, she had 7 children. And when she was in CarbonNation, she got pregnant again.
I have this thing about me.
So I'm going to be interjecting my commentary.
I don't really like conflict.
So let's start listening.
I don't want the smoke unless I have to give the smoke. Alright, so about 2 years ago, I started awakening. I started realizing that everything around me was a lie. I grew up as a Christian. I realized Jesus wasn't real. So, intuitively,
and I know a lot of Christians right now who
I started like going outside into nature,
pearls,
enjoying the sun. You know, I changed my diet. I had red locks. Cut the locks out my hair because my hair was dyed. You know, I was stripping my melanin, so I cut all my hair off. I did everything I needed to do. Everything I felt I was being guided to do. So yeah, I didn't have no guidance. You know what I'm saying? Like even growing up, I didn't have no guidance from my parents, from anybody. Like I had to learn everything on my own. So yeah, coming to my awakening, I didn't really know much. I didn't know anything anymore. Like I was confused about what life was, what life is.
So guys, here's the thing. When you are coming into that spiritual awakening, you have to know that if you don't have anything to replace it, you're going to be lost. Because in this society, we've been brought up to believe certain things. And if you choose not to believe in those certain things, in humanity, the way it functions, in the system, some call it the matrix, if you choose not to believe in those things anymore, that's all well and good. But if you don't replace it with something, then you become lost because you're just existing in a vacuum. You have no belief system anymore. So you will become lost, and that's what she's saying. She was operating in a space of emptiness, in a place of emptiness. She had no place to go. Come Sunday, she didn't have to put on her clothes and go to church anymore. She didn't have to go to the mosque. She didn't have to go to the temple, wherever it is she worshiped, because her belief system was gone. It was replaced with, in her words, nature boy. Now, you have to wonder if that's a good replacement. If you say that Jesus is not real and all these prophets are not real, and you're replacing those entities with nature boy,
I have this friend.
Then you need to be reevaluated.
And
but let's continue to listen.
Here we go. She was trying to introduce me to nature boy. And I didn't want to have really much of anything to do with him at the time when she was trying to introduce me to him, because the only thing they was talking about was polygamy. I'm okay with polygamy now. I understand what polygamy is for. However, I didn't like it back then because I was in a toxic relationship and all of that, so I wasn't with the shits. But one night, I asked the universe to show me what this is, because I didn't know nothing no more. I was confused and I didn't have nobody to turn to. And I went to sleep and I dreamed about Nature Boy. I dreamed about being with him. I was with him. I was walking with him. So, with nobody around me understanding what I was going through, after I dreamed about him, I was like, this must be the way. This has to be the way, because I haven't heard nobody else speak the things that he's speaking. I didn't do much research, though, so that's why.
So she said she didn't do any research, and that's why she fell prey to his teaching and all that he was about, and that's why she went. But the thing is, she had lost her belief system, so I believe she would have gone anyway if she had done her research, because at that point she said, and you guys are gonna hear it later on, she said that she was on the verge of a nervous breakdown. She needed a change away from her children. 7 children, mind you, small children. She needed to get away from them. So it didn't matter what she had researched about Nature Boy. She would have joined him anyway, because she believed he was the present-day Messiah.
Yeah, here we go. I started watching him. I started watching his lives. I'm like, yo, this really is like, because I've never heard nobody speak what he was speaking. So I'm just like, yo, this gotta be the truth. This is a part of my spiritual journey. So I have to speak on this. I have to speak about the things that I've gone through. Like, I'm not a nobody. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm a very powerful person. And I'm coming into knowing who I truly am. So, it was a part of my journey, so I speak. I'm going to speak on it. Anyway, I started watching his lives. And I was really, like, into it. I'm like, ain't nobody else talking about this shit. Then every now and again, we would message each other. And honestly, guys, honestly speaking, I really did think that I belonged with him. I thought that I was supposed to be his wife. I thought that I was supposed to be with him. I did.
Now, she said in the beginning of her journey, she wasn't down with polygamy, but now she understands it. But at the time when she said she thought he was supposed to be her husband, she was not open to polygamy at the time. So I'm wondering where her mindset was when she knew this man was a polygamist and had all these wives in the house. A house that she was about to join and be a part of.
I thought I was supposed to be his wife, so I was feeding into the idea of being his wife. I was feeding into the idea of being with him and joining CarbonNation. Before I went to CarbonNation, I had a transition. Like, the girl I was staying with, her lights and stuff went out. And I still had the children.
So she was staying with someone. She did not have her own apartment with 7 children at the age of 29. And a lot of people are going through the same agony, that you don't have a place to turn to and you really need help, family help, etc. But in her case, she just wanted to get away totally from the children because she didn't want the responsibility anymore. Although she said she does love her children. Because she said she was having a nervous breakdown, or almost had a nervous breakdown.
Her lights and stuff went out, and it was very cold in there, extremely cold, had little babies. So I took my last, and I got me and the babies a hotel. Mind you, I'm already at a point in my life where I'm tired. I'm tired of doing things by myself. I'm tired of being a single mother. I was just tired. It took everything in me to not have breakdowns in front of my children. But it came a point in time where I was crying like every day because I was tired. I was tired of doing it alone. Like, nobody wanted to help me. And because I didn't have much knowledge, I kept messing with. I learned my lesson though, guys. I grew up, I promise.
So she said she learned her lesson and she grew up. But after she went to CarbonNation, you're going to hear her say, when her sister decided to take the kids, she called the sister up. She said, are you willing to take the kids? I need to work on myself and because I'm on this spiritual journey. And she said, how soon can you take the kids? The sister said, immediately. So she handed the kids over to her sister. I'm gathering that same day, and she left for CarbonNation the next day. While she was in CarbonNation, she got pregnant. I don't know how long she was there. Maybe she was there a couple of years, but she got pregnant. But she said she learned her lesson with 7 kids and all these F niggas. But to me, she didn't learn her lesson because she went into CarbonNation and got pregnant for Jaleo. So what lesson did she really learn? If you're going to tell your sister you can't manage 7 kids and you need to work on yourself, and you go into a cult and got pregnant with the 8th child, then you haven't learned your lesson. She really needs counseling as to why she keeps repeating the same cycle. It's a cycle that she's in, that she's got every man that she is with, she's got to make a baby for that person. So she needs some counseling. So that's one type of counseling that she needs. The other type of counseling is to be debriefed from all the garbage that she was fed while she was in CarbonNation.
I was at my breaking point. I was. So I needed help. Badly. Like, people knew I needed help. People knew me, but nobody wanted to extend the help. Nobody wanted to be there.
And that's what a lot of people say after they make a lot of kids. Nobody told them to make all them kids. They can't afford to feed the kids. They knew that going into it, not using a condom. They knew they cannot afford to feed those kids. But yet, they go and have sex unprotected. When the kids come, then they're looking at everybody else to help with the kids. And to help them watch the kids and feed the kids, etc. But those other people that they're asking for help. They got kids of their own. They can't afford to drop their kids to do for your kids or to give you money when their kids need that money for Pampers and food, etc. So what she's saying that nobody wanted to help, I doubt it very much. I think they wanted to help, but they couldn't because they had their own responsibilities. And it's not only for her, it's a lot of young ladies out there in the same boat. They put themselves in that situation, and when they need help, and people say, well, I'd love to, but I can't because I got my own kids and etc. Then they get an attitude. That's what the welfare system is for. If you cannot afford to do it on your own, you can get help from the government. So I'm wondering if she got help from the government, or else she wouldn't have been living with somebody else. Because when you get help from the government, they put you in an apartment, they can do some job training, they get you babysitter, they pay your rent, they get you food stamps. I'm sure with 7 kids, she would have had everything at her disposal when it comes to the government help. But I don't know, maybe she had a nervous breakdown and don't know it. Because there are a lot of people with 9, 10 children are doing it off the welfare system. She could have done the same thing until she gets herself together. So to me, she's trying to rationalize her actions, when to me, it's not rational what she did. You don't leave your children, 7 children with your sister, and you jump on a plane the next day to go in a cult, then you have 7 children that you can't afford to feed, and you go in a cult, you get pregnant with your 8th child, and then you get out of the cult, and then you go back. It does not make sense to me. So what did you finally walk away with?
Me and the babies,
a baby that was not born because she said she had a miscarriage.
And the whole time I'm thinking, I'm just like, yo,
makes no sense.
I really can't do this by myself no more. But I don't know who to reach out to.
So, guys, I'm gathering here that she is, trying to pass the buck. She's trying to let us know that it's not her fault. To me, she had everything at her disposals, even education they would help you with when you get on the government program. So it's not only the food, housing, job, everything that the kid needs, plus medical. They support you in every way. When you get on the government system, welfare, with all those kids that she had, oh boy, she would have been cleaning up. Those monthly checks would have been enormous. So something does not seem right to me.
Like my family
it sounds
knew,
to me,
but
forgive
we
me
was
for
on like
saying
shaky
this.
ground, so I
Maybe
just
she
was
had
like,
a little bit of mental
do I reach
issues.
out to them and tell them I need help again? So yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do while I'm in the hotel. I'm on my last. I don't have no more money. Someone did come along and help me and the kids out. They got me a room for a week. So that was a blessing. Still, I was tired and on the urge of a breakdown, a mental breakdown. I didn't want to do that in front of my children though. So I'm like, I think it's time for me to go to CarbonNation. Now, I tried to take my children with me to CarbonNation. I tried to get our passports. Wasn't working out. Nothing I did was working out when I tried to move.
Now, see, she said she didn't have any more money left. She was in a hotel. And she decided to take her kids to CarbonNation. So I think she was trying to get Augilia to pay for all the cost of the kids. I don't think kids I think when they're below 5 or so, you don't pay. I'm sure she was trying to get him to pick up the cost of all this travel with all these people. And so he said to her, put him in foster care. I'm sure that's how that conversation went. So I'm sure she's not telling everything because she says she's not going to tell everything because she's got a book to write.
Clearly,
things that she's not revealing will be in the book.
But all things happen for a reason. Like, I learned a lot. So yeah, I tried to get our passports. Couldn't get our passports. One day I'm on the phone with Nature Boy. He calls me. He says, so when you coming home? I'm like, as soon as I can. Like, I'm ready. As soon as I can. He says, now I'm already thinking like, I want to take my children, but at the same time, I need a break from my children. Because, like I said, I was on the urge of a mental breakdown. I went from raising my brothers and sisters to raising my own children. So I never got to see who I am. Like, I never got to experience life.
So I'm wondering at this point, when is she going to admit that she was at fault for making all these babies that she couldn't take care of? And if she saw, well, the first 2-3 kids, the fathers were deadbeat dads, then it was time for her to tie her tubes. Would you think that? You tie your tubes so if you choose to have unprotected sex or the condom bust, then you won't get pregnant again. But she got pregnant how many times? She said 7 times, had 7 babies, and still is crying that, woe to me. Oh, I was going through a rough patch. Mental breakdown was on the way. So I just up and went to CarbonNation. It doesn't make any type of sense.
They don't never go nowhere without me. His suggestion, Nature Boy, his suggestion was, no, what did he say? What did he say to me? I believe he said, You gotta get rid of it. You gotta get rid of the kids. He said, you gotta get rid of the kids. I'm an animal. And you know, like, these aren't his exact words, but this is basically what he said. I'm an animal. I'm nature. And you know, in nature, what he say? The males kill off the males kill off other cubs that don't belong to them, just so that their legacy could live.
And this is the type of foolishness that he feeds these young girls, these young people, because they, although she has 7 kids, she still fell for it because she placed her kids with her sister. Although she said she was on the verge of a mental breakdown, she could have placed them there and go check herself into a mental health clinic or hospital, because she said it was about her mental health. That's why she placed the kids with her family. But she ran right there to Nature Boy, having sex, and got pregnant again. I'm not victim shaming here. I'm just calling a spade a spade. She abandoned her 7 kids.
Like, I was quiet,
but don't see nothing
for a little
wrong
bit,
with it.
because
She's
I'm just
trying
like,
to
that
explain
shit
it
shook
away.
me a
But
little
I'm
bit.
not
I'm just like,
buying it.
okay. But I'm a mom. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, so I'm just sitting there thinking, like, what the fuck? And I was like, I do feel like I'm probably supposed to come to CarbonNation. However, I have my children, and I'm not about to just, I didn't know what to do. So then he suggests that I put them in foster care. Just put them in foster care. Just put them in foster care. I'm like, no. We end up getting off the phone. Mind you, before that conversation, I'm already on the urge of having a breakdown. So I end up calling my sister. And I said to her, I said, if I ask you to take the kids, would you take them from me? And she said, yeah, like, you already know. So I was like, I need you to take them. She says, when? I said, like, now, ASAP, as soon as you can. And then I get to crying, I bust out crying, because I'm just like, I got to a point when I started regretting, because I got to a point I started regretting the fact that I had a whole lot of kids at a young age. I was ashamed. So I'm crying and I'm just like, yo, I just wish somebody would have stopped me. Somebody would have told me, like, yo, shorty, like, you going in the wrong direction. Like, this is not the way to go. Like, having all these babies, like, this is not it. This is not it. Like, continuously being with the toxic men or men who don't know who they are, that's not it. I didn't have that guidance.
You know, sometimes it's common sense. You don't even need the guidance. Common sense would tell you, if you have 1, 2, 3 babies for all these guys who are all messed up, you don't continue on the same path. You don't get baby number 4, 5, 6, and 7 because it's not getting you anywhere, and you saw the end result with 1, 2, and 3. So why go for 4, 5, 6, and 7? It's just common sense.
So I'm just
my sister
crying,
once
I'm
told
venting
me,
to my sister,
common
and
sense,
I'm like, please, just
common
come get the
sense
babies.
is so common for
They
a
came
lot
and
of
got the
people.
babies. My sister, she came and got the babies, and the next day I left. Yeah, the next day I left.
So she could not wait to get on that plane to go meet up with Nature Boy in his compound to start a whole new family with him, because she said he was supposed to be her husband. That's what she dreamt. So this is all delusional. That's why I said she needs some psychiatric evaluation, because who does that? You're going to give away your 7 kids to your sister Then you jump on the plane the next day, go meet up with this man, start having sex, and you get pregnant. I don't know how long she was there, but she said she was pregnant when she left. The final leaving, I think she said she went back once. So that shows me there was confusion there. Anytime you leave a bad situation and you revisit it, you go back, you're not thinking clearly. So she needs some type of debriefing. She needs to a psychiatrist to sit down with her and find out what's going on in her head. Why this intelligent speaking woman, because she sounds rather intelligent to me, and she is not lacking of any words putting sentences together. So she seems normal in terms of the intellect. So I thought, CarbonNation. Until she started to tell her story.
There's a lot to say about CarbonNation. However, I plan on writing a book. So, but to sum it up, because I was in the beginning of my awakening, having an ego death, letting go of who I thought I was, it was easy for me to be reeled into CarbonNation. It was easy for me to think that, oh, this is the only way. It was easy for me to think that. Because I didn't know nothing else. So that's why it was so easy for me to go there. Nature Boy got us all to sign this piece of paper stating that basically we wouldn't talk about anything that goes on there. And if we do, we'd have to go to court. I'm crazy. So I'm willing to risk that. I don't care. I don't care. I really don't care. Because this was a huge part of my spiritual journey. Anyway, let's begin. So there was a rumor going around about me being pregnant by him. And I was. I have the message. I still have the messages. I kept them because with him and my history, he lies a lot. He lies a whole lot. He deletes messages. He don't. Anyway. So yeah, I was pregnant by him. I had the messages. I sent him. I had left CarbonNation because I didn't like how I was being treated when I told them that I felt I was pregnant. Damn, that shit was crazy. Like, the whole experience was crazy. I'm not going to get too much into that. But yeah, I didn't like the way I was being treated when I was at CarbonNation, when I told them that I believed that I was pregnant. I ended up leaving because I didn't like the way that I was being treated. The weekend that I left, I took my test, and the second line popped up. I'm like, oh, so I really am pregnant. But I was stressed out. I was stressed out simply because these people swear they are all about family. These people swear they are all about breaking generational curses. Unity, Black power. But I didn't have no support. That pregnancy was very stressful. Nobody made me take a pill or anything. I just started bleeding one day. Because I was so stressed out. I'm thinking about him, Nature Boy, and the things that we talked about. Oh, he's so good with his words, y'all. He's so good with them. I was thinking about him and the things that we talked about. And how I thought we would have been a family. And how I thought that this experience with this pregnancy will be different than the other experiences with my pregnancy because we break in generational curses. But it wasn't. It was the same. It was the same. He didn't want I don't know, something about him and Eliana, like, I get it, like, having children with her, but anyway, guys, okay, so I end up losing the baby. I lost the baby, and that was like a blessing in disguise, because low-key, I was about to perpetuate the same generational curse that I caught myself breaking. So I was grateful. I was very, very grateful. Like I said, I have messages. I sent him the test. I sent him my sonogram. And there's messages that we have, but he deleted some of his. He deleted some of his in the message. I guess just in case somebody checked his messages, I don't know. But I still have the receipts. That was traumatizing. But because I still didn't understand what this spiritual journey was, I was like, okay, that happened. I'm going back. I'm still going back. Because they family. And this is the Messiah. I really thought he was the Messiah, y'all.
So apparently she had left.
I really did.
And then she returned again.
I really did. I thought this man was the Messiah. Anyway, I went back. And I still didn't like the way I was being treated. Now, I don't know how long some of you have been watching me. But way before I went to CarbonNation, like, I was about my shit. Before I went there, like, I felt real strong, real powerful. I've always felt like that. Like, there's a reason why I'm here on Earth. Like, I've always felt like that. But when I got there, the women, Daddy, they hated the fact that I came up in there talking about, yeah, I know who I am. I know I'm powerful. I know I'm strong. I'm confident. At first they was with it. They was like, yeah, I like you. I went in there being me, y'all. I went in there being authentic. I went in there wanting to love everyone because I didn't receive love growing up. Because, you know when your parents only do for you what they can. They only do what they know. So what was done to me was done to them. So I didn't grow up with love. So I have a lot of love to give.
Well, that's all depending on the person, isn't it? For a lot of people, when they say they were not brought up with love, it just means that their parents didn't tell them, I love you every day or often enough. And for other people who don't get that verbal communication that says, I love you, the parents show it in the things that they do for you. So it depends on your train of thought. I know for me, if my parents are doing things to show me that they care, to keep me safe, put food in my mouth, a roof over my head, pay for my school fees and all of that, that's showing me love. Another person may not look at that as love.
I didn't grow up with love, so I have a lot of love to give.
So she
simply
says,
because
her
I didn't grow up with
not show her love.
I was trying to love on these women. No, I wasn't trying, I was loving on these women. I was just being me. I'm very loving. I'm very giving. I'm very happy. I'm me. They told me I was doing too much. Told me I was forcing myself on them. I mean, now I know they was just rejecting themselves of love. But I'm thinking like, what? How am I doing too much? I'm just being me. I'm just trying to show you love. I just want to build a relationship with you. I just want some sisters. Because me and my sisters, we weren't brought up to be close. So if we here to break generational curses, that's what I'm trying to do with y'all. I'm trying to build a relationship with y'all. They ain't want that. Then they kept saying I was too dominant and too masculine. I can admit, I was a little masculine. I was. Because I grew up being the provider for my brothers and my sisters, and even it being for my mom when she needed me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up having to be that. Phone on 20%, y'all. I never knew what it was like to have a man in my life. I always had to be the man. And I always attracted feminine men. So I always had to be masculine. So I can admit, yeah, I was a little masculine. But I toned that shit down a lot. Because I realized I didn't have to be that way. It was just me trying to survive in a world that's living backwards. So yeah, I toned that shit down. But they kept complaining about it. You're so masculine. You're so dominant. You're so masculine. You're so dominant. So I toned it down more. Then I got to a point, I started dumbing myself down. I'm worried about how these people think I'm moving. So I'm thinking the whole time, like, watch how you move, Star. Don't do this, Star. Don't do that, Star. You don't want to offend them, Star. So the whole time I'm there, that's what I'm doing in my head. Watch what you do. Watch what you say. Watch how you move. Because at the end of the day, because these women didn't know how to love themselves, they were intimidated by me being myself. So they had to make me feel some type of way to make them feel good. When I say I dumbed myself down, y'all, I couldn't be myself, y'all. I couldn't be myself. Didn't even want me to talk to the men. I'm a grown-ass woman. If I like you, I like you, and I'm going to tell you I like you. But I know how to talk to men. I know how to engage with men without using my sexual energy. Every time I would engage with the men, now I'm looking at these niggas like, oh, these my little brothers. That's how I'm looking at them. I fuck with you. I went in there getting to know everybody, including the men. I even counseled them. They might not admit it, but I even counseled the men because I came in with a lot of experience. Anyway, when I would talk to them, the women would feel some type of way. Oh, that's not how we move around here, Star. Why not? Because I was like, even before I came here, like I was cool with niggas. I ain't have to be you to be cool with you. I ain't have to want you to be cool with you. I know how to control my energy. I throw my energy where I want to throw my energy. I wasn't giving them off no energy. They thought I was. They thought I was because that's how they move. That's how they feel like they gotta engage with niggas. Oh, I'm gonna throw you some sexual energy, and maybe you'll engage back with me. I don't blame them. They don't know no better. But they got on me about that. They didn't like the fact that I was engaging with the men. So I stopped doing that. Me and the men was cool though. Like I was cool with them. I don't even thought I was. So I stopped doing that. I literally had to stop being myself. And the whole time, I'm just like, it's one of them. The whole time, I'm just thinking like, maybe I am more I thought I was. Because they keep saying this about me, and they keep saying that about me. And that's another thing. You gotta know who you are. So can't nobody tell you who you are. I don't answer to what you say I am. I answer to who I know I am. You understand what I'm saying? You got to know who you are, because people will be able to control you. They will have power over you if you don't know who you are. So I'm really thinking I'm more than I am. I'm thinking I'm not shit. Like, damn, like, I'm too masculine. Still, months later, after being with y'all, y'all still ain't see no growth? Y'all still ain't see no change in me? Out of here. I'm too dominant. Then find a backbone, mother. Like I said, guys, I dumbed myself down. I thought more was wrong with me than what was wrong with me. But there was lessons I had to learn while I was in carbonation about myself.
I think the first lesson she had to learn was you can't make people love you who are not going to embrace you. Because clearly these women didn't want to be her friend because she was too overwhelming. She had so much love to give, but they were
I had to learn to stop overgiving.
And in turn,
when it comes to love,
rejected her. Because
it's so easy for me to love people. When people show you that they don't want you, this is including Nature Boy too. When people show you that they don't want you and that they don't love you, it's just a reflection of you, showing you that you're not giving you what you need to be giving you. Stop overgiving. I really did. I have so much to say, guys, but my phone's gonna die. I really did believe that carbonation was the end all be all. That's where I belong, because that is what Eligio teaches, that he is the only source. However, we are all the source. You understand what I'm saying? I really thought he was the Messiah, simply because he was speaking shit that I never heard before.
Well, that makes no sense to me whatsoever, because there are a lot of people out there who are so spiritually gifted all over the world. So if you hear one of those people and they're talking about something you've never heard before, you're going to follow them too. A lot of beautiful minded people out there, a beautiful mind, as they say. When it comes to the art of just delivering the word of God, but you don't want to follow any and everybody, false prophets. So you have to be very discerning. And this young lady needs, she needs spiritual awakening, but it sounds as if she also needs some common sense. Because if she thought Nature Boy was the be-all, end-all with his promiscuity, passing diseases on from one person to the next, and she probably got something because he was infecting everybody and she got pregnant for him. She better go get herself tested. And his foul mouth and just lack of respect for our people. If she thought that was a leader, oh my God. And that was the epitome
this man
for
went
her,
from calling himself
really
Jesus.
I'm not bashing, I'm just calling
saying
it like
he was
it is.
Jesus, basically, to calling himself Baba G, the man who taught Jesus. So which one are you? Guys, there's so much to do. There's so much to say. Anyway, I even stopped talking to people that I love dearly.
Mistake number 2. A lot of times when you join these groups, these
people that was not a part of
they
carbonation,
divide you from your family,
I
so you
stopped
don't
talking
have
to
that
them
support to run back to,
because it
when
was
they start
wrong
mistreating you.
to talk to people who didn't fuck with carbonation, who wasn't a part of carbonation. That was on me though. That was a lesson that I had to learn. Stop being so gullible. Because I was being gullible. My family loved me more than I knew. Yes, we had some issues. However, I was chosen to be the one to break the generational curses.
one of the generational curses, my dear, is you having 7 children and you're not taking your responsibility. Hopefully, you have taken responsibility for those kids, because we're in 2023, and I hope you're still not trying to
This is
find
not the end of my journey.
God or spirituality.
This is only the beginning.
God is in you, my dear. You don't have to go looking.
I don't regret my experiences because they made me who I am. I know CarbonNation's gonna have a lot of shit to say. I already know how they move. But the thing is, they didn't really get to see the true Star, because Star suppressed herself, trying to be who they wanted me to be. I'm a very, very powerful woman. And unlike others, I really do come to bring change. A lot of people is not going to speak on CarbonNation the way that I will speak on CarbonNation. I feel like I was chosen to do so, because I really went in there thinking like, oh, this is the only way. I'm in this shit. And then come to find out that it was all a lie was a huge mind fuck for me. It was traumatizing. Yo, when I left, I had nightmares. Shit was real. Nightmares. But I accept what the universe has for me and who the universe has chose for me to be. I don't regret anything, and I'm actually very grateful.
Well, it's part of her journey. It's a teachable experience for her, as long as she does not keep repeating it. She repeated it once before by going back. Hopefully she have learned, and when Agilio comes out of jail, she is not part of the wives club, because I understand there are 4 other wives waiting on Agilio to get out of jail. They have rented an apartment somewhere in California, I was told, and they are holed up. They are waiting for him to get out. So YouTubers, drop your comments. Tell me what you think about this video about Star. And I'm wondering if she has reunited with her children, her 7 children, or is she still on that spiritual journey that she needs to find herself and get her mind right without the children being around her? YouTubers, drop your comments. I'm over and out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and to this video. Thank you for watching.